Could an outwardly ordinary life shroud unsettling secrets and an unsettling fate? Born in a Texan city, the story of Roger Scott Dunn takes an unexpected turn, leading to a mystifying disappearance. What lies beyond the facade of their seemingly regular existence, and what startling truths could be unearthed as we delve into the depths of their enigmatic journey. Hi, and welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing, as it helps us motivate to create more intriguing content for you. Roger Scott Dunn was born in Lubbock, Texas, on February 10, 1967. It is a city that holds a unique blend of history, culture, and community spirit. Nestled in the heart of the Lone Star State, Lubbock is known for its vibrant atmosphere and diverse offerings. With a history deeply rooted in agriculture and ranching, Lubbock has maintained its connection to its rural origins while embracing modern development. The city's strong ties to its past are celebrated through various museums, such as the National Ranching Heritage Center, which showcases the region's ranching legacy through exhibits and artifacts. Scott was one of Jim and Mary Sue Dunn's two boys. Scott was what everyone called him. People said that Scott was funny, liked to have fun, and was popular with women. In 1991, when he was 24 years old, he quit the Army and moved to Lubbock. At his job at MGM Electronics, he put special sound systems in cars. He loved fixing cars, and he had even won competitions for installing stereos. He also bought, fixed up, and sold used cars by himself. He went out with LISHA Hamilton. She was a waitress and was 28 years old. On May 13, 1991, Scott went to a party at the home of one of his friends. Scott got very sick out of the blue. He could not walk or drive home, so he stayed with a friend. The next morning, LISHA picked him up so he could sleep in his own bed at the Oakwood Club Apartments at 5818 24th Street, which they shared. The next day, on May 15th, Scott finally felt good enough to go back to work. Since his car was still at a friend's house, he had his friends drive him to work. He let LISHA know about this plan. When his friends came to their flat, she made him tea and left work. Scott did not reply. LISHA got home later and told his friends that he must have left while she was at work. Scott did not come home that night, and there was no sign of him for the next 2 days. Then, LISHA called Scott's father, Jim Dunn, who lived in Pennsylvania. She told him that Scott had gone missing. Then Jim Dunn called the Lubbock Police Department to make a report about a missing person. Jim told the police that it was out of the ordinary for Scott to leave his yellow submarine CAMARO and his tools at work. When the cops got to LISHA and Scott's apartment, LISHA told them right away that a piece of carpet from under the couch in Scott's bedroom was missing. The cops found the missing piece of carpet. It was stuck to the carpet in the bedroom with duct tape. Along the scene, a piece of carpet had been taken out of the bedroom. The cops saw a stain that looked like rust. Everyone could see that it was blood. On the cushion under the carpet, there was another big stain. In one spot, the blood on the padding had seeped through to the pavement below. It also looked like someone had cleaned blood off of the baseboard of the wall. The detectives tested the room with luminol. The room got bright. It was clear that someone, likely Scott, had been attacked violently. Investigators looked at Scott's life and the people he knew to see if anything stood out. Scott had been arrested before for using illegal drugs. At the age of 23, he was arrested for robbing a Domino's pizza. The cops looked into this to find out if anyone could have hurt Scott because of the drugs or money. They did not find any useful information. When investigators looked at Scott's friendship with LISHA, they found a lot of strange things. Scott did not seem to be able to commit to LISHA as much as she wanted. A month before Scott went missing, LISHA found out that he was going to marry another woman. Investigators thought this could have been a reason. LISHA could have tried to get back at Scott. Friends of Scott told detectives that there was something strange about LISHA. A friend of Scott's family said that Scott was afraid to end things with LISHA. Ex-boyfriends of LISHA told Scott that she could get violently jealous. LISHA kept getting in touch with Jim about the case. Jim recorded every phone call they made. Alicia did not seem very interested in finding Scott for some reason. She talked a lot about how cool this sports car was. She even asked Jim if she could take it. Alicia told Jim that she did not want the car, but she needed it. LISHA was obviously getting tired of waiting for the car. This was a very strange thing to do. Investigators found out that LISHA had done some bad things in the past. She had been arrested for theft in New Mexico. Investigators kept looking into the idea that she might have done it, but then she thought of the first person who might have done it. LISHA told Jim she thought a guy named Tim Smith had something to do with Scott going missing. Tim and LISHA lived close to each other, and Tim fell in love with LISHA. When the cops went to Tim's apartment to talk to him, they saw that he was getting ready to move. Tim gave the cops permission to search his apartment. When the cops went back to the room where Tim was standing, they saw that he had moved a roll of duct tape that was on his bookshelf. Tim said he did not move anything, but the cops found it hidden behind some books. The tape was sent to a lab for investigative testing. Infrared lights were used to look at the tape's different wavelengths and parts. The results showed that the tape from Tim's apartment was the same as the tape on Scott's bedroom carpet. On the side of the tape, there were triangular green carpet strands, the same color as the carpet in Scott's bedroom. Investigators did not have much else they could do without a body, so the case went cold. Jim got tired of waiting, so he went out on his own to find the solutions. He met with a group named the Vidocq Society. It is a group of 82 investigative experts from around the world. The group is made up of people who pay to join. It meets in Philadelphia to try to solve crimes that have not been solved yet. Jim talked about his son's case with Richard Walter, who helped start the group. Richard knew right away that Scott was no longer living. In addition, he was sure that LISHA had the answers. Dr. Richard SHEPARD of New Scotland Yard got the message from Richard. Dr. SHEPARD came to the conclusion that Scott was killed in his bedroom and had been hit with a blunt item more than once. He did a lot of tests and found that no one could have lived with the amount of blood that was lost. Richard Walter asked the district attorney over and over again to bring this case to trial. Richard said they did not have a body, but they did have a part of a body, the connective tissue in the blood. Richard Walter noticed that the duct tape in Scott's room had hairs that he could not identify. Testing showed that it was hair from both Tim Smith and LISHA Hamilton. 3 years after Scott went missing in 1994, Smith and Hamilton were finally caught. People think that Scott died early in the morning of May 16, 1991, while he was sleeping. A hard object hit Scott 4 times. Hamilton and Smith tried to clean up the crime scene, but they left too much proof behind. People think that LISHA wanted to get back at Scott after she found out he had been seeing other women and was engaged. Smith probably helped Hamilton because she played him for a fool, and he was crazy about her. They were both convicted after different trials. Alicia Hamilton got 20 years in jail, and Smith got 10 years of probation. The jury thought Smith helped Hamilton clean up and throw away evidence, but they were not sure he was in the room when the crime happened. It is not clear why Alicia got such a short term in Texas, but she had to serve it in full after failing to get parole more than once. After she got out of jail, Alicia disappeared. Both Hamilton and Smith did not want to tell the cops where they put Scott's body, which was frustrating. In 2012, Jim Dunn was very happy to hear from Lubbock Victims Assistance Services that a work crew had found Scott's bones in a sewer system near his apartment complex. The kid's teeth showed that they were from Scott. The Dunns put him to rest on June 16, 2012, in a grave with a stone that looked like Scott's CAMARO. Jim said, "I tell everyone that Scott came home for Father's Day." If you think the video was shocking, check out the previous case we explored on screen now.